In today's video, I'm going to show you how to use triads to outline your blues soloing. So I got a little loop here that I created on my loop station, Boss RC5, just a blues in G. And check out what I'm going to be doing here today. This is really, really cool, and you're really going to dig this. It's going to open up your blues playing, and it's a good practice to organize triads and licks in one position here. So that is the idea. If you're enjoying this video, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell for notifications. I like groovy stuff. You know, a lot of times we play in this position, this pentatonic shape. And I'm talking about really not playing any scales here at all. Like I really wasn't playing scales at all. I was playing triad and forms off the triads. And what triads are really, it's just three notes that make up the chord. In this chord, it's G. So it's the third, the fifth, and the root. And of course I added the seventh, the dominant seventh in there. So I'm really playing like an arpeggio, really. But I'm focusing on these shapes. Within this E chord shape, you have a couple of triads here. And I'm basing them off of string sets. Like if you notice the first pass, every pass of the blues I was only on one string set. And that's the good practice here. So I was on the top three strings. 1, 2, 3. The E, the B, and the G, the top string set. So I was playing just the triad here, G. Like that. And I was playing around here when it was in G. Right over here, these triads. The third, emphasizing the third. Playing the seventh. And then when I went to the C, I played the C right up here. So backstepping 1 second, you have this triad and this chord. You have this triad shape. The next string set, the second, you have this one. This string set, where you have the root, the third, the fifth. On the first string set, you have the third, fifth. This is really important to remember. First string set, third, fifth, root. The second string set, you have the root, third, fifth. So this first one's really like a second inversion. No, first inversion. The third, fifth, root. Then you have the first inversion, next string set. Then over here, you have the second inversion, which is the fifth, the root, then on here, you just have a power chord. So I'm going to bypass that. I'm going to go up to here. Play this triad. Which is stealing from another shape, really. It's kind of like the D shape. But it's all from this one chord shape right here. I have all these G's. G, G. And it's more, forget the numbers and stuff. Just remember these shapes. 1. Right there. So 4 triads. And that's what you could focus on instead of playing this minor pentatonic. Focus on these more targeting these notes here. You know? Then here. Right? And then when I went to the 4 chord C, here's the C chord. And I'm focusing on this A shape right here. And the triads I have from this C is like this, a root version. Right here. I'm just following the chord, the shape of the chord. You have this. The chord's kind of like the same thing as this, right? So you have this shape, you have this shape. Then you don't want this power chord here. So I went to here, I borrowed from this other shape. This G shape. So here's the 3rd. And down one more on this bottom string that I just played down here. Starting on the 5th, the G. Here's the C chord. Second inversion. G, C. You can play it open. And then the last chord, the 5 chord, the D chord. Play it like this, the C shape. D chord. So now you have these triads here. The D here, the D here, and the D here. It's the only shape that has all 4 triads in one shape. And then back to the G. So one thing I also did was, as I played this G, over on the turnaround, I remembered to play the G. I tried to play every turnaround in its position right here. And I remembered the triad shapes of the chord. So if you just remember the G, C, D, G, then you can do the turnaround here where it's G, G7, A. Then you have the diminished walk up, A sharp, right there. I mean C, it's not A. You have the G, G7, C, the C sharp or D flat. Back to the shape. So you just remember these 3 shapes. And you can do the licks here. Pretty cool, right? And the same thing with the turnaround here on the 2nd string shape. G, G7, C, C sharp diminished. It's just adding the C note back to the D. So it sounds like this. This one right here, G, G7, C, C, C7, D. So you get G, G7, C, D, nope, G, G7, C, C sharp diminish, and then D. And do a lick here. And then the last one, G, G, G7, C, C sharp diminish. So it's all within this one area, which is really, really cool practice. I think this might be one of the coolest things. If you really spend a little time on this, man, it's really kind of blowing my mind doing this too, because I don't really spend too much time doing this, but I am now. I mean, it's a, you play and you play and you play for years, and then something kind of clicks in your mind, and for me, this is a really kind of a mind blown experience, learning this right here, and I wanted to share it with you, and hopefully it's the same to you. Organizing these positions, I know it sounds organized, it's not really playing, you're like kind of thinking a lot here, but that's what you do when you practice. You know, when you're playing for real, I mean, you don't want to think about all this stuff too much. You want to really just get into it, and you want to move all over the neck. But the good thing is that why not know everything you can know, like in this one area, so you could stay here in one position and really target your chord changes without having to just jump around to possibly places that you know really comfortably. Like if you're playing G, then went to the C, went to D, C. You know, which is cool too. But the beauty of that is when you go up to here to the 4 chord, now you could do this. Here's your 1 here, and you could do the whole cycle up in this shape, starting using this this G chord as the 1 chord, and all the same licks that you learned on here for this shape when you used it as the D chord. All those licks that what I did here, right there. Now that's your, instead of that being the 5 to solo in, up here it's the 1 to solo in. The beauty of staying in one shape right here, one string set. All the notes and the target notes are right next to each other here. And a cool trick is you could focus on the 3rd and always slide in. You know, you got that minor 3rd into the major. Each inversion has its place where the notes are, where the root, the 3rd, the 5th are. It just so happens that in this position, you get the 3rd, the 5th, the root. All right, so what I'm doing is a good practice is sliding into the 3rd. Now when it goes to the C chord, the 3rd right to the root of the C is right there. Now if you notice on this C triad, your 3rd is on the next string. You get root. So it's good to learn to hit the root. It's just an organizational way to approach the slide from the minor 3rd into the 3rd. Like right here, I'm going right into it on the first one because it's right there. It's the first note. Right? And over the 4 chord, I got the 1. So it's a different timing of when you're hitting the 3rd. Back to the run, the 1. Now watch on the 5 chord, which is right here. You have the 5th, the root, and the 3rd. So now the 3rd is on the top of this type of inversion. And you'll see all these inversion shapes are the same, so you could apply this to any position when you get to it. So now you have it on the top. So now you have root, which is a different sound than this one. Different than this. No. Because you have this on the major 3rds on the bottom note. On the 4 chord, the middle note, and then on the 5th chord, back to the 1. So you have the 1 here, the root, I mean the 3rd here. You can find all the chromaticisms, chromatic notes that go. Down to the 5th of the 5 chord. Now here's where you remember the turnaround. And all you got to do to remember the turnaround, like I was saying, is remember the 3 shapes. 1, 4, and 5. So now you take the 1, 7 chord, go to the 4, leave the 4 chord the same, but just take the root note and just move that up a half step. That just gives you a diminished chord. And then to the 5. Do a lick there if you want. Back to the 1. So, pretty cool. I mean, this is like, really, to me, it's top level stuff that'll really, really take your playing, so to speak, to the next level, right? Just focusing on one area. We're not trying to impress anybody really right now. It's just more of learning the shapes, learning the in-betweens, how to really get to another chord easier than jumping all over the place. You're also playing in an area that you know very well. You know, you're playing one box, but you might be looking at the box a little bit differently now, because before you just knew it, which you could still use. I mean, you're not taking away that pentatonic scale. You're just kind of putting it to the side for now, and then you'll just use it in between all this other cool stuff, because now you have the same area, but now you have all that. It's like, who knew you could do all that stuff inside there? Most of the time you could stick to this over all three chords and it sounds good. It sounds great. But now you have, you know, right there, then you have, all right, then you have, and the last one, right there. So you have all those areas to focus on targeting the notes of those chords in blues. And then you could jump it up an octave to keep it simple. Just do the same thing up here in the high register, because then you can go to all the other chord shapes as well, because there's 5 areas you could do this practice in. You could do it here, you could do it here, right there in that D shape. You could do it here in this C shape right here. You do this shape right here. You're doing this shape and this G shape. So it's the E shape. There's this D shape. Just this G shape right here. This A shape right here. This G shape. So just a little ideas that you could do around knowing all those licks and knowing the triads within the certain areas. Really cool. I want to give you like a little example here of what I'm doing here in this one top shape first. So check this out. Take down a little distortion. So here's just the string set, the first string set with the top 3 strings. Now I'm doing licks right around here. Check this out. Okay, see what I did there? Just played the blues, but in one area. And it's really, it makes you be disciplined, because I can only play on these top 3 strings. I want to resolve to the G note, the root, on the 4th string, but I can't, because I'm not allowed to. You know, I'm kind of just holding back. You know, a lot of times in playing, it's like what you don't play is more important than what you do play. So being restrained is a good thing, because now it's like, man, I really want to go there, but for this practice I'm seeing little areas where, and it's making me improve on the small areas that I do have. Like now I only have these few notes. If I want to resolve to a root, I only have one root here. I got to go to that one. So it's forcing me to use what I have. You know, it's forcing me to play within this shape. I only have one root in this area. If I want to hit the root, I got to stay here on the 3rd. And when I go to the 4 chord, it's right there. I only have one root. Here's the 3rd. Or it's the 5th. Back to the 3rd of the 1 chord. And I know, okay, the 5's coming up. Went to the 5th of the 5. Here's a 5 chord. chromatically right up to the third of the 4 chord. On the turnaround, simple. I remember these 3 shapes. Here's the 1, the 4, and the 5. And the turnaround is just the 1, the 1 7 chord, the 4 chord. Hold that same shape, but just raise the root a half step. So now instead of a C, you have a C sharp diminish. Chromatically right to the 5. I can play a lick here. Back to the top. So I went to there, I cheated, I went to the next string position. Pretty cool. Any light bulb moments, let me know. I'm having a good time here. It's keeps you disciplined, keeps it real, you know, in this one area. And of course, bring it up here. Do the same thing. I mean, the first thing, you know, if you want to really practice this and get it, just now you know it down here. Now just do the same thing here. I have a little trick here too that I'm going to give credit to a guitar player, great guitar player, Guthrie Trapp. If you're out there listening, it's for you. Thank you. And I love that guy. If you haven't watched any of his videos, he's like a master guitar player. Really great, Nashville. But he mentioned something recently that I always knew, but didn't really use all that much. I use it, but when you're more aware of how cool it is, you start to use it a little bit more, maybe to a fault. But this trick that's, all right, we talked about the root, the 5th, and the octave everywhere, and then the 7th. But the 4th degree, if used correctly, is really cool. So think about where the 4 is, because it drops down nicely to the 3rd, right here. Check this out. So here's the root, and here's the 3rd, and G. You have the 3rd, right? The 5th, the octaves. So here's that 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4. But go down to it. From the 5th. So when you change into the 4 chord, I could set it up. Check it out. 5, 5, 4, 3. Even over the 5 chord. Really cool trick, right? Sounds really nice. 5, 5, 4, 3. Do the licks. Or from the 5, 4, and then slide into the 3rd. And how I like this on the 5 chord. Cool little trick there. And this is a great way to organize your practice and focus on specific positions. And you know, by incorporating triads into your solos, you could break free from scale-based patterns and add more melodic interest and really emphasize chord tones. I do have a guitar course called the Essential Skills Collection for guitar has 4 sections in it. The first one is Fretboard Memorization, which helps you learn easily where all the notes are on the fretboard. The Circle of Fifths, which shows you how to translate chord progressions in every key, very simply with a circle of fifths. Blues Soloing, where we talk about stuff we're doing now, vibrato, bending notes, lots of different types of chord progressions and graphs that I have in that. And then the cage system in 2-5-1s, which is really cool, which is similar to taking all these different shapes and playing progressions around them. So check that out in the description, Essential Skills Collection for Guitar. I would appreciate that. Thank you very much. Any other ideas for any future lessons? I don't even like to call them lessons, but it's more of a back and forth here, camaraderie that we have here with playing guitar player camaraderie. And but any other ideas, let me know right here in the comments or in the chats if you're watching in the future in the comments. And we'll get to it right away. So have a great week, guys. I love you. And remember, be cool, be kind, and be cherry. And if you want to see another video on playing the blues, I think it's 5 steps to becoming a better blues player. Can't even speak today. Put that right up there. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. Love yous. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace, y'all. All right.